If you're a single parent of a teen boy who is slipping away mentally and emotionally, with screens swallowing him and social media making it worse, in this video, I'll show you why he finds reality boring and how to fix his internal reward system by building strategic friction and a sustainable architecture for his drive. There's this moment a lot of parents describe, and it sounds small at first, but it actually reveals something much bigger. They'll say something like, I told my son to go outside or read or do something productive, and he looked at me like I asked him to do something physically painful. Not just boring, painful. And if you pay attention to that reaction, it tells you something about what's happening inside his nervous system. Because this isn't just preference anymore, it's calibration. The 2026 digital environment, short form video, hyper optimized games, endless algorithmic feeds, isn't just entertaining. It's engineered to deliver fast, intense, unpredictable rewards. Every swipe, every level, every notification is a hit. And over time, the brain adapts. It starts to expect that level of stimulation as normal. Hey guys, before we continue, I just quickly want to let you know I do have a screen time reset guide available where I go over how your son can reduce his screen time by 80% in 21 days. Make sure to check it out. I put the link in the description for you. Let's get back to the video. What follows is subtle but powerful. Reality starts to feel muted, slower, and less engaging. It's not actually, it's just that the contrast has shifted. It's like stepping out of a hypersaturated screen into natural light. Everything feels dull by comparison. Neurologically, the brain becomes less responsive to lower levels of stimulation after repeated high dopamine spikes. So things that used to be engaging, sports, hobbies, conversations, learning, now struggle to compete. From the outside, it looks like laziness. From the inside, it often feels like a genuine absence of drive. Not, I don't want to, but I can't get myself to care. And this is where a lot of advice goes wrong. Parents are told to remove the device, limit screen time, and enforce rules. And sometimes that works briefly, but if you remove the stimulus without recalibrating the system underneath, you create a vacuum. The brain is still expecting fast reward, and now it just feels bored or restless. So it goes right back to what it knows. Because what's really broken here is a relationship between effort and reward. In the digital world, the feedback loop is immediate. You act, you get something back instantly. But in the real world, meaningful rewards take time. You train for weeks before seeing progress. You practice for months before becoming competent. You invest effort now and only see results later. And that gap, the feedback gap, starts to feel unbearable to a brain trained on instant return. It's not that real-world activities aren't rewarding. It's that the reward is delayed. Over time, this also kills curiosity, because curiosity requires patience. It requires tolerating not knowing, exploring without immediate payoff, and if the system is trained to avoid delay, curiosity shrinks. Boredom becomes something to escape instead of something to move through. And without boredom, there is no entry point into creativity or self-directed action. So the question becomes, how do you shift this? And this is where intentional friction comes in. Not as a form of punishment, but as recalibration. Right now, the internal clock is running too fast. Everything is instant, so you have to reintroduce delay in small, structured ways. Waiting before checking your phone, for example, or doing one difficult task before an easy one, sitting with the urge instead of immediately satisfying it. These are small things, but they retrain the system to tolerate the space between impulse and reward. At the same time, you have to redesign the environment, because digital platforms are built to remove friction, autoplay, endless scroll, and one-click access. Part of the solution is adding friction back in, making access slightly harder, removing shortcuts, creating small barriers that interrupt automatic behavior. This isn't about willpower, it's about changing the path of least resistance. But removing isn't enough. You have to replace. And this is where slow burn mastery comes in. The goal isn't to eliminate reward, but to shift its source. Instead of fast external hits, you build activities that generate internal reward over time. Things where progress is visible, even if it's gradual. Physical training, creative work, skill building, these don't compete on speed, but they offer something deeper, which is competence, progress, and a sense of earned development. And that word earned matters because there's a difference between leveling up in a game and actually becoming better at something in real life. One is instant and disappears when you log off. The other is slow and stays with you. But for someone used to instant reward, you often need a bridge. Activities that are engaging enough to start, but grounded enough to lead somewhere real. The exact activity matters less than the structure. Challenge, progression, visible improvement. As competence builds, something shifts. Efforts start to feel meaningful again. The delay between action and reward becomes tolerable, even satisfying. Motivation stops being something you chase and becomes something that grows naturally. And eventually, the role of the parent shifts too. Early on, there's structure and guidance, but the goal is not control. The goal is helping the young man build a system he can run himself, where he understands how his motivation works, where he can catch himself drifting back into passive consumption and adjust, where he chooses challenge because he's experienced what growth feels like. And this is where the social layer matters again, because motivation is contagious. If he's surrounded by peers who are building, training, improving, that reinforces everything. It makes effort normal. It makes progress visible. It creates shared momentum, and in that kind of environment, reality starts to feel different. Not like something to escape from, but like something worth engaging with. Which brings it back to the original problem. The issue was never that reality is boring. The issue is that the reward system has been trained to expect something else. And once you understand that, the solution becomes clearer. Slow things down, reintroduce friction, rebuild the link between effort and reward, and over time, reality regains its texture. It stops feeling flat, and it becomes the place where something real can actually be built.